And welcome back as we journey through the book of Acts. We're continuing our story from Acts chapter 3. And just for some context, Peter and John were just used to heal a lame man who was leaping and jumping and praising God. And so we're going to read a portion of scripture and pull a timeless truth. This is one of my favorite ones. You ready for this? Acts chapter 3, verse 11. And it says this: While he clung to Peter and John, all the people, utterly astounded, ran together to them in the portico called Solomon's. Now you might be wondering, what timeless truth can we pull from there? You're going to love this. You see, in Acts chapter 3, verse 8, we read about this incredible scene where this man, once again, who was lame since birth, he wasn't able to use his legs, who was forced to beg to make ends meet, who had a community of people that would bring him and drag him to the best place to beg, now walking and leaping and praising God. Can you see his face and the joy that just overwhelmed him? That he would run back to Peter and to John and he would cling to them. And I imagine him just putting his arms around Peter, kissing his neck possibly. Awkward, I know. Maybe he's on his chest saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe tears are coming down his eyes. Maybe he had fear of this being taken away. We don't know. But he had this repeated expression of gratitude. And what I love about Acts chapter 3 so far is that even though Peter and John were used to perform this miracle, and this man came and clung to them, there's no mention in Acts 3 where Peter and John said, let go. So potentially in the whole entire chapter of Acts 3, Peter is about to give this sermon, and here is this man who is on his chest, holding him, saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think the reason why John and Peter may have not taken him off is because they understood the depth of his reaction. You see, when the man eventually released them, the impact of Peter and John's obedience would forever be part of his story. It's a story of how he was impacted by God's power and plan through two men who chose not to ignore him. And as so many had done for so many years, but instead Peter and John were willing to be inconvenienced, willing to be interrupted, and take a step of faith that would change his life forever. The lame man's encounter wasn't just physical. It marked the beginning of a holistic transformation. That means being changed from the inside out, and an invitation into a life where God's restoration would touch every part of him. So church, I want to leave you with this thought here. Yesterday we talked about the willingness to be inconvenienced. And today I want to encourage you with this, is that your simple step of faith can have eternal impacts in a person's life. So don't just think of it as I'm bothering them, or what if I get rejected? What if you impact a person for the rest of their lives, impacting even their future generations by your act of gratitude, your act of obedience, your willingness to pray, your willingness to be interrupted, your willingness to look weird? What if? Take a step to faith today. God bless.